And now we're at a point in this season that we are not even in the play-in. The reason for that, we are 12 and 15. We actually are barely in the play-in.
Middleton with Butler driving right into it. Count it, foul! It's loose. The lead, Jimmy Butler! And Giannis was trying to call timeout. 46 points for Jimmy Butler. Sets up on three. Good! Why not? Butler! Long shot! Good! Giannis, 5-point game. Antetokounmpo lost the ball. It's loose. Miami's gonna win it! Over the top to Butler. Up and in! Jimmy Butler ties the game with a half-second to go.
What a play call.
Milwaukee had a timeout and didn't use it.
Why would you not call a timeout and advance the ball? What is going on here?
What's going on is Jimmy Butler and overtime in Game 5. Two-point game. Butler steps in front. Middleton. Allen has it. Down the lane. He ran out of time. The Bucks don't get off his shot. And the Miami Heat become the 6th in NBA history to win as an 8th seed in the first round.
Ooh. Ooh. Everyone wanted to say that we're going to get swept. If anything, we were only going to win one game, and it was going to be because of a drastic injury. That happened. We won the one game. We lost the next game without Giannis there. Giannis came back, and we finished off the series. What happened? What happened? Where is all the Bucks fans now? I am so confused as to how you guys just all disappeared out of nowhere when it was so convenient for you guys to disappear. The Heat are the best team in the East. And I'm saying that with full confidence now. I was hesitant throughout this whole series to say, oh, we're winning this game, because of the whole season that transpired for the Heat. The Heat are a playoff team. Jimmy Butler is a playoff player. He does not want to play in the regular season, but when the playoffs show up, he's going to show up. He's going to damn sure show up. Giannis is literally just a man that is big and is fast. That's it. That's it. You take that away from him, you cut off all the routes to the basket, and he can't do anything. What is good, everybody? It's your boy Champagne Chico, and I am back talking about the Miami Heat. One, because I am a Miami Heat fan, and two, they've been one of the more unpredictable teams in the NBA right now. Nevertheless, in the NBA playoffs, they start off the NBA playoffs winning in 5 against a top seed and basically the top betting odds team to win the NBA championship, and they end up losing. You could attribute that to Giannis getting injured, but he came back in Game 4. He was supposed to be this pivotal piece to them, and they didn't end up really getting much from him. He did perform well, but then when you miss 11 free throws in an elimination game, that's not how you win a game with the Bucks. But before we get into the video, I do have to ask you to go down there and like and subscribe for me. I can keep posting content like this, talking about the NBA, talking about the NBA playoffs, talking about the Miami Heat, since I basically watched every second of each game, whether it's the regular season or the playoffs. I'm always involved with them. I can also do more NBA content in general, but it's all up to y'all. Let me know what you want to see on the channel. But we're going to get into it and just talk about some of the key points in terms of the Miami Heat and what they have to do in order to beat the Celtics right now. It's a difficult matchup, and that's why I put the title as that they're the most unpredictable team, because they are willing enough, they are capable enough to beat the Boston Celtics in a serious way, not even just a biased Miami Heat fan way. It's possible. They went to 7 last year. I know we did lose PJ Tucker, but they went to 7 last year with them, and they were one shot away from moving on to the NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler missed a 3. I don't mind that 3 at all. I would have him taking that every time, no matter what. Maybe another 3-point shooter, but if I want to put the ball in anybody's hands right now, it is Jimmy Butler. But he needs to perform the way that he did against the Bucks and not the way he did against the Knicks. I'm aware that he got injured because Josh Hart is a scumbag. He still didn't perform well before that injury. He had some made shots. He had some difficult made shots. But after that, for sure, he was just not. He wasn't performing the way that he did against the Bucks. And against the Bucks, he was hitting on all cylinders. He was basically getting 4 steals a game. He was averaging 33. He was averaging 32 minutes per game. So he had more points than minutes per game. But he is not the person that we need to perform for us to win. Who needs to perform alongside to him is Bam Adebayo. Bam needs to show up the way that he did in the last 2 games against the Knicks. And I'm sure that he's going to be able to, but he can't lose the confidence now. He's had an issue these past couple playoffs that once he loses his confidence, it's very difficult for him to get it back. And when we're facing such a defensive team like the Boston Celtics, he has to be shooting the ball no matter what. And he has been averaging about 25 points per game against the Celtics this year. And that's been great. That's been great for us. That's been helping us be competitive with the Boston Celtics. But he had a great last 2 games against the New York Knicks, as I'm trying to find it. He had a 23-point game and an 18-point game, but he also had 23 the game before that. And in both wins, he had 23. He also had a lot of rebounds. And we need the offensive rebounds too. The offensive rebounds really takes away the confidence from the other team, and that's basically all we can do right now with the Celtics. But other than doing that, other than getting rebounds, because the matchups are pretty good in terms of the height, in terms of the size, it's more of a small ball lineup. It's Kevin Love and Bam Adebayo versus Al Horford and Robert Williams. I think Robert Williams and Bam Adebayo match up very well against each other. But Kevin Love needs to be able to not foul. 1. 2, you have to let Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum be them. Because at the end of the day, it's probably going to be that. They're probably going to be able to show up, show out, and be the star players that they are. But we have to make sure that the other people don't. Because once they get started, then it's basically game over. It's hard to come back into the game whenever you have Jason Tatum shooting incredibly. You have all the role players basically shooting on all cylinders. I would rather Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum get the ball more and us worry about them being the ones that have to get every single point than the rest of the players doing that. I think they're probably going to run some zone. I think they're going to be running a good amount of zone, to be honest with you, just because it's better for us as a defense. It's better for us to be more consistent and to play help defense. We usually play a 3-2 whenever we really want to change it up on them. And I'm sure that Spoelstra is just going to change it up overall. It's probably not going to be zone the whole time. He's probably going to want to run man. And the matchups for that, I would most likely want Haywood Highsmith starting. If it's my choice, I would have Haywood Highsmith starting. Now, I don't know who he would replace. Maybe you switch Jimmy to the point, Max to the shooting guard, and then Haywood Highsmith as small forward. Bit of a bigger lineup, but it's kind of something that you need. It's something that you need because Haywood Highsmith is kind of a PJ Tucker-esque player. And we don't have PJ Tucker on the team anymore. He walked to the 76ers, who just got eliminated by the Celtics. I think Haywood Highsmith could really show up this series. If it's not him, then it's Bam, but it can't be Caleb Martin. As much as Caleb Martin has been a fantastic defender this entire playoffs on whoever he's going against, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he really does show up and defends either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum very well. But Caleb Martin, when he's defending Jason Tatum, is 73%. Jason Tatum is shooting 73% against him. And if we compare this year to last year, the games that we faced the Celtics, these last couple games, we lost to them when Bam had 25, but Jimmy did not have a great game either against them, if we are able to look at the team stats right now. And the fact that we were the number 1 seed last year and now the number 8 seed this year, I think it still gives us an edge. I know that we had home court advantage last year, and that helped us a lot. But with the way that we've been winning in terms of being on the road, I think it could really make all the difference for us. I haven't seen much of Grant Williams this season, as much as he was effective last season. But the people that we have to worry about is Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That's without a doubt. Al Horford is getting up there in age, but he really showed out in the last 2 games against the 76ers in terms of defending Joel Embiid. Marcus Smart has had maybe a couple good games. It just hasn't been what he can be. But that's kind of what I'm banking on right now. I'm banking on the fact that Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have to be the ones to get hot, and then the rest of the team can't get hot. They have to score all the points, which in reality can't really help you the whole way, because Jason Tatum, he only started to get hot the last 2 games of the series. The whole first 5 games against the 76ers, you couldn't find him anywhere. Now, the 76ers couldn't capitalize on it, but I think the Heat are bound to capitalize if he is in that situation. Kyle Lowry, this entire playoffs, has been pivotal. He has come in at times when we were down 13 against the Knicks in Game 6, and he turned us around and brought us back into the game. Now, the plus-minus for Kyle Lowry is never helping him out, but with the way that I was watching the game, it was Kyle Lowry the whole way in terms of bringing us back into that game. And then, of course, Jimmy Butler came back in, finished the job in terms of bringing us back and getting us the 1-point lead because Jalen Brunson was on the bench. But Jimmy has to have a better game than 35. And I think he has to average at least 32 per game. I don't think we can win the series without that. Bam, if he can score 30 a game too, that I'm great with that. But in reality, he's probably going to average 20 and 10 if he keeps the same confidence that he had at the end of the Knicks series. Max Strus needs to be shooting well. Max Strus needs to be shooting well. 2 for 7 in Game 7 last year against the Celtics. And our shooters have picked it up. They have picked it up this playoffs. Duncan Robinson was not playing in Game 7, because he couldn't make a shot to save his life. Victor Oladipo isn't in. Tyler Hero's injured, and he's probably not going to be back for the Eastern Conference Finals. But me personally, as a Miami Heat fan, and the way that I've watched the Miami Heat the entire season, I wish him a speedy recovery, but I'm glad in a way that he is getting this rest for his injury, because of the fact that he likes to take wild shots. He likes to take wild shots, and, sometimes he makes it, but sometimes it can be the death of the team, and it can hurt us a lot. Now, PJ Tucker in Game 7 was negative 16, and I'm sure it's because he was defending Jason Tatum, and Jason Tatum was performing very well in this game. He shot 4 for 7 from 3, 9 from 21 from the field. Not the best in the world, but he was still a +7. And basically the whole starting lineup was a plus, and they had to play the majority of the game, except for Grant Williams coming in for 30 minutes of the game. Victor Oladipo's also injured. I wouldn't say that I'm glad that he's not playing as much, just because Victor Oladipo is a great defensive piece. Now, he didn't really have that type of impact at the beginning of the Bucks series, so I wouldn't be 100% sure about that. But Hero, I think we would need him in the finals. When it comes to now, I think we can handle ourselves without Hero. But last year was definitely a series that could be a showing of this year. We won in Game 6, and that was the Jimmy Butler. I think that was the game that he scored. If I'm not mistaken, he scored 47. He scored 47, had 9 rebounds and 8 assists with 4 steals. That is the type of game that we probably need in some of these away games, and that's where he did it in the TD Garden. We need to take one home game from them. We need to take home court advantage, because As the old saying says, the series does not start until the road team wins, and we need to be the first ones to punch. We need to be the first ones to hit, and today is the day of game 1 of the series, and I really do think that we need to win this game in order to start off on the right note. But that can only be done by Bam performing, and of course Jimmy Butler, because he is our star player. My only question with this series compared to the Bucks series is if it levels out. Now, we had a bit of luck with Giannis getting injured, but the team was supposed to be made to perform without him, even if he was injured or if he was on the bench. They beat us badly in game 2. Like, they destroyed us in game 2. And I don't know if this compares to the Milwaukee series. Milwaukee's deep, but the Celtics, they just have some young players that can really shoot the ball. Giannis, like you probably are going to see in this video when I say it, he's not the best at shooting overall. Now, when he gets hot from the mid-range, he can get hot, but the three-point shot is not there. They have Brook Lopez, which is kind of like the second option in a way, but Drew Holiday is more of the second option on the team, like compared to Jaylen Brown. So you could compare Jason Tatum to Giannis in the ways that if they're going to drive, they're probably going to make it. So you have to be able to cut that off and make them make the three. You have to be able to make them go 40 or 45% from three. We basically had to do that with Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. They were triple teaming Jimmy Butler. I don't expect the Celtics to do that. They have a young coach, and I don't really see him as a defensive-minded coach, and I also don't see him as a Tom Thibodeau-level coach. I think the most difficult coaching that we would have to face this entire playoffs is Tom Thibodeau. Unless we make it to the finals and have to face probably Mike Malone, that's somebody that I'm more afraid of in terms of this series compared to that one. But we have to get past this one first. And I think the coaching is really going to be the telltale of this series. I just don't really understand how the Heat are the lowest betting odds. I would have the Lakers as that, as much as they are the Lakers, and I'm sure that's why they're higher in the betting odds. They're more unpredictable. They have Anthony Davis, they have LeBron James, but you're putting a bet on somebody that is injury prone. Both of them. LeBron is playing on an injury that he's probably going to need surgery for in the offseason, especially with how much he's playing on it and the way that he's playing on it. He's still playing as he usually does. It's not driving as much, probably because he doesn't want to hurt it more or possibly hurt the team for not being there for the possible finals. AD is showing up. AD is showing up right now. He scored 40 in this last game against Nikola Jokic. I just really do think in order for us to be able to get past this series, Bam and Jimmy both have to be performing. And the most ideal situation is performing the way that we did against the Milwaukee Bucks. And that means everybody's shooting well. We're shooting 45% from three. Actually, let me make sure I have that right. We shot 45% from three and 51 or 52% from the field. That is what I think that we have to do in order to really win this series. Now, of course, it doesn't have to be 45%. It can be 40% and we can still win it. But we just have to be shooting better from the three-point line. Because last year, I don't think that we shot very well from the three-point line against any teams, really. I think Jimmy was really carrying us through to the playoffs. Yeah, we shot 30% from three and 42% from the field. And they shot 35% from three and 45% from the field. We just have to have better percentages. That's really about it. And I know that's very kind of surface level predictions or whatever, but I think in reality this game's going to go to 7. Now, if it's shorter than that, I am happy. I am more than happy that it will be less than 7, just so I can save a heart attack. But I think it's going to go to 7. We'll have to go to TD Garden. I just don't know how it's going to end. I would love for the Heat to be the ones that win it all in terms of the East and also the finals. I think if we get past the Celtics, that's probably the most difficult challenge for us. because maybe the Lakers turn it around and really finish off the Denver Nuggets, because the Denver Nuggets just had an insane game in game one, which, I mean, you can expect with Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray with the way that he played in the bubble and got them some games against the Lakers. But the Lakers kind of figured out what they're going to do against Nikola Jokic, and I think they might implement that for the rest of the series. Rui Hachimura was very good against Nikola Jokic on the defensive side of things, and AD could really defend anybody at that point. He can defend whoever you put on him, and he'll be persistent on it, as we get some highlights right here. But yeah, day one or game one of the series is tonight. I would like to drop more content like this. If you guys would like to see that, I would be more than happy to talk about the Miami Heat series or also the Lakers series. I don't mind that at all, because I am usually watching both games if I'm not watching one or the other. And yeah, if you did enjoy that, please go down there and like and subscribe for me. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.